Well, Virgo, get ready to think on your feet. The Virgo, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Virgo sun, moon, and rising sign. And this is an energy reading. So what I do every week is I divine insights for you through channeling, astrology, tarot card, and oracle cards so that I can hand them over to you and hopefully empower you to do great things with the energy of the week. There's always an extended reading, Virgo, so I hope that you join me for that as well. The links are below, including the Unbound membership. Check out my memberships. The Unbound gives you access to all the perks and every single extended reading, like unlimited for the life of your membership. And I can't wait for you to join the live chats. Remember to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you know when I upload your favorite content. Virgo content is uploaded every single Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. That's over here in Los Angeles. And yeah, let's get it. Oh, don't be afraid to like the video and share it on your social media platforms. That helps the channel out like crazy. So does watching the video all the way through. So Virgo, the astrology is beautiful. To be honest, for you, I mean, Mercury is your ruling dignitary. It's in Aries, which gives you fresh and fiery objectivity, kind of a cleansing of the mind, a relieving. It's like a fresh start in some ways, but really it's a fresh start in terms of your mentality. So be open to trying new things, taking action, making decisions quickly. However, you are going to have to think on your feet in this energy because there's a lot of uncomfortable aspects to what's happening between Saturn, Mars, and Venus. This week, or this past week, Venus and Saturn were in perfect conjunction, and now Mars and Venus are going to be in perfect conjunction in the beginning of this coming week. And ultimately, it's like waves over rocks, right? It just makes it really bumpy, and there'll be a lot of turbulence. Because that's in a really difficult, it's a minorly difficult aspect to Mercury conjunct the sun, and the moon is there as well in the beginning of this week. What does that mean? Your sense of self, your sense of identity, your sense of knowing who you are is going to be so linked and so certain of the ways it wants to renew itself, so certain of the directions it wants to go, and so certain of being prepared and ready to go in new directions that it's going to be really irritated by all this kind of like standards checking in. I'm sorry. It's almost like going on a road trip and feeling really excited about it and then having to stop at way stations or, checkpoints along the way. It just gets really annoying and irritating. You're almost like, well, why is this happening? It's happening to learn. It's happening to grow, and it's happening to strengthen, especially your patience right now, because that's going to be how the universe, Saturn especially, is going to really try you. Can you be patient throughout this time? There's so much fire energy around you. You're just going to want to get things done. You're thinking quickly. You're writing quickly. Those communications are going to come right out, and so are those thoughts. And you're going to want things to burn away and just be over with. It's like, don't bother me with this bullshit kind of mentality. But ultimately, there is going to be stops in the road that you have to deal with. So prepare for that. Let's get into the cards. Virgo energy right now, please. Virgo energy for this week. God, there's a lot. And above, I'm looking for my baby. Take the lead. You'd rather you'd rather root yourself. This is about rooting energy. This is about knowing where you stand. It could represent a form of stubbornness, but I think this is being certain of something. Maybe something that, because there's a lot in the past here. I haven't turned it over yet, but we'll get to it. being certain of something that maybe you had argued with yourself in the past. Because Saturn, which is that challenging aspect, is squaring the nodes, which means what are we learning from our past and how far have we come? There could be that this week you're starting to make decisions based on facts that irritate you and annoy you, but now you can't ignore. Right? So this is the decision-making time, and when you're going to be prepared and have the stamina to finally be able to assert yourself and say, this is where I stand. I'm making this decision once and for all, and rooting in it. You haven't been able to stand firm in this, even if it's just emotional, even if you've taken physical action or social action, or you've moved forward emotionally, you haven't. And I think that that's the big thing with the moon being in Aries right now. This new moon in Aries is like, now emotionally you can get on board with where your sense of self is and what's good for you and what's right for you, and take action to plant the seeds. And that's what the rooting is. It's like you want to plant these seeds and make this your life moving forward. Now, this is based on something that's going on in the past, Virgo, so let's get into that. Transformation is beautiful, so wanting to becoming greater, becoming a better version of yourself, or having a really painful transition not too long ago that you'd had to go through. It strengthened you, certainly. It was recreating you. But, that's that Scorpio Plutonic energy. It recreates you through suffering. So there was just that sense of finding strength that you never knew you had, and finding who you are through that meltdown that is the cocoon of life, right? So emerging from that was definitely not easy, but it certainly brought out aspects in you that you didn't know that you had accessible to you. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I do have these skills and I do have these abilities. And, you may never have realized it before. Truth transcends illusion. And when I saw this card, I heard being able to really look at the truth. Because when you come out of the cocoon, you're not in your dream state anymore. And so now you're hit with the real world, and you even have wings. So you're seeing it from an objective perspective, or the aerial view. And ultimately, this is coming out, like being seen. Something being exposed, or something finally just you realizing it, right? And you can't argue or fight it anymore. You have to look at it because you're ready to look at it, because you're looking at it from a different perspective. Definitely. This really metamorphosis here. But truth transcends illusion. It's because exposure. I just keep hearing exposure, and I don't know why yet, but we will get to why. Nothing is wasted. So this is a trash heap, right? So it's bringing me a little closer to the truth here, Virgo, by saying this is finding treasure in the trash heap. So this was a difficult situation that kind of stunk in a lot of ways for you, and this was definitely far from ideal. And it could even be airing out dirty laundry, right? Or finally smelling somebody's trashy side, right? Finally starting to see the inner bowels of the workings of, what maybe you would rather have not seen, right? This exposure of the trash heap, and then trying to figure out how to find good that would come out of it, find any good at all, and being able to find something good that came out of it is kind of what is bringing you up and drawing you to your better self, is trying to find the lessons out of this very gross, stinky situation. This is once again in the past. And then trust in the magic, a new beginning. Something started in you then. Something started in you, and it was just blossoming and maybe easy to overlook. Could have been some sort of relationship that started here, or some sense of a desire that you hadn't realized before, but it surfaced. And honestly, it seems like it never went away. You've been thinking about this ever since then, and then is not that long ago. I'd be surprised if it was a year ago. You know what I'm saying? It's not that long ago. Now that's what we're getting to. All of this is when that takes root. And I think that this is the last bout of difficulty, challenge, frustration. Like, you can't not look at this. You can't not see this. And you're like, I'm done trying to be blind. I'm done trying to make excuses for this shit. I'm not going to make excuses for this shit anymore. And now I am ready to firmly set my seed in my roots into the ground, plant my seed and say, this is where I stand and this is where I belong. Ooh, Virgo, you are taking a stand. Okay. And then we have be playful. Okay. You know what I just got? It's like, this is easy for you now. It's almost like, if you had even tried to go at this before, it would have been too difficult. But now it's easy for you. And something, it could even be by Gemini season, finally comes out. So you might have another month for this to, like, you're taking the roots, right? And as you know, because this is the cultivation, 1111, truth. Truth is finally coming out. Realization, actualization, your awakening is happening. Your roots are growing now because you've decided to plant your seed. This is what your decision is. Your roots are growing now. By Gemini season, your sprout is coming up. And that's the real magic of this time. It's easy for you now. It would not have been easy in the past. And Gemini energy implies that there is a playfulness, a lightheartedness, maybe a socialness, maybe a friendship, a new friendship beginning or starting, or just communications, something you're learning, something you're teaching yourself, could be going back to school. Anything that Gemini is associated with, it's staying light and on the surface, and it's coming to the surface. So this is being able to have fun with it. That's how comfortable you are. And you can have the deeper the roots, the more fun you can have with something. Virgo. Ooh, guide me where Virgo needs to go. I also said that I wanted more on truth transcends illusion, right? Bring your ideas to life. Yeah, this is the spark of life. This is when everything like that you've been thinking of and, knocking around in your head, theorizing, hypothesizing, whatever. This is when, bam, that special essence of life, you have the energy to actually shock it into life. This is the time. So you're finally revealing. That's kind of what it is, and it has to do with communication. So you could be announcing. There could be announcements here. You are finally announcing, taking action once and for all on something. So what do I want clarification on? What was the situation? Like, what was the trash heap that you were dealing with? What part of Virgo's life might it have something to do with relationships? Fuckboy. A fuckboy energy, or somebody who was like a randy dandy, or maybe not having a passion, or not taking things seriously, or somebody that didn't take things too seriously, or was just very I just hear passion. Something that you had a lot of passion for. Might have been a young person. Somebody younger than you, not a young person. Please don't think I'm saying that or condoning that. I'm just saying might have been somebody younger than you, or it could have just represented something that was enticing and exciting that you or somebody that was in your life had to deal with. And yeah, it didn't work out. It was going nowhere. There was no growth in this situation, which is kind of why I think it's like fuck boy, fuck girl energy. Like, this was not somebody that could be taken seriously, and it had no hope, and it wasn't growing no matter how much you wanted to. It's like you saw the futility in it, okay? And that's part of the truth that came out, all right? Let's keep going. So What is the decision that we're making? Ooh, something else wants to come out for the past. Power. Maybe it was about reclaiming your power. That's really what you wanted to feel. You wanted to take power. You wanted to take the lead on something. You wanted to jump ahead on something. Yeah, you wanted to be recognized. You wanted to be seen. I also think you wanted to understand who you were and you wanted to take your power back. That's what I keep hearing from this. Now we have a firm foundation. You know where your passion sits. You know what you believe in. You've established yourself, and this is like Kundalini energy. Like you're getting the toxins out. You're getting the sick out. You're purging the last bit of sick. And once again, it's reestablishing firm foundation. You know this is what you want now. You're solid in your sense of your passion and your sense of yourself. Okay, so what is it? like where have we planted our seeds? Where is that? Where have we planted our seeds? Where have we planted our seeds? Okay. Choose wisely. That doesn't answer questions for me. Where have we planted our seeds? Oh, that's it. It's in the decision-making process. It's why we make decisions. That's what it is, Virgo. That's what's changing. In other words, normally what you decide is not what you're going to decide this time around. You might even surprise yourself. You're starting to recognize the decision-making process in the past was what was flawed and why even mistakes happened to begin with. So you're starting to reconstruct the decision-making process itself. And happy birthday, Denny. That's what you're taking stock in and what you're renovating so that the choices themselves are healthier, because the process of making those choices or what you're aiming for or what you see or what you're prioritizing, completely different. Damn. Okay. Whew, let me get the moon card because I really want to know. This is a new moon. Virgo, this is a new moon in Aries, so it's a perfect time to plant these seeds. Get something brand new started or have a new start. And then we have, South Node. Don't let your past hold you back. So it's those things that you're afraid of. Instead, let your past inform you. You've been through this already. Why would you fear it? You've mastered this, so what have you mastered? And have confidence in moving forward in a new direction based on what you know, and then use it along the way. Don't let your past hold you back. It's telling you plain and simple, it's falling right on choices. Whatever you've chosen in the past, you don't have to repeat that pattern. I say this a lot on my dailies. You can be in a bad situation for 15 years, and you can wake up one day and decide, I don't need to be in it for 15 years and a day. You can change your choices, and this is when you change your choices. Just because you have, I've always done it, I've been here, so what? You're supposed to move away from where you were. You're supposed to make choices that you've never made. That's how you change. And that's what it is. It's like bam, the brain power is there. You're making different choices. And you're choosing a direction that definitely would surprise people on the outside of you. You may be even surprised. And I don't think you're surprised about how you came here. I think you very firmly understand why you got here. But ultimately, I also think you may just be surprised that you're going to move forward with this, that this is the moment. You have felt this for a while, Virgo. You knew this was coming. I just don't think you'd accepted it in yourself. Like your whole self wasn't on board. The secret sauce is how we're beginning this week with this beautiful new moon in Aries that is conjunct the sun and Mercury, which is your ruling dignitary. There's so much certainty, there's so much power, and there's so much clarity as to making a different decision, making a new decision, and how important the decisions we make are. Damn. No, I want to do these cards. These are your angel messages. Coming right out. First things first, right in front of me. Kyanite, make time for self-care. Taking care of yourself is essential right now. What is it telling you? It's telling you to prioritize you, Virgo, because ultimately you've been making decisions that were just based on your perception of what was good for everybody or somebody else. You were slowly learning how to take back your power and recognize the futility of decisions or situations. And now there's a sense of finding who you are. You're going to be so certain of yourself. That is your superpower right now. Even when the moon moves on, the moon just marks your emotional preparedness to hand over to that Mercury conjunct Sun in Aries. What is best for me? I know what's best for me now. I'm certain, and my emotions being on my side are the catalyst to move me forward. Revealing your true self. There you go. It's like, take time for self-care. Taking care of yourself is essential right now. And then revealing your true self. As you allow others to know the real you, you'll feel loved for who you really are. Oh my God, you're so shedding. You were trapped, Virgo. You were fucking trapped. And now you are liberated and free because you are getting the out of there yourself. Let's go to tarot. I can't wait to continue this conversation. Links are below.